Welcome back. And today we are going to discuss about the neuroscience of self-belief. Neuroscience of self-belief, deals with our our thinking, the way we think, the way we evaluate ourselves, and generally what happens, the kind of feeling we have in our day-to-day life. So that is, going to be that has something to do with this neuroscience. So it is said that when somebody feels a certain way, so there are some kind of neurotransmitters which are released by the brain, and they are responsible for the way we are feeling, right? So it's important for people to know what it is all about and how they can feel a certain way, because if they know this science, I think they can change the way they are feeling. They can change the way they are looking at themselves, right? So before we go deeper into it, I want you to say something about the same, so that we can have, so that people can have a better understanding of the topic which we are going to discuss about. Over to
Okay,
you.
good evening to you and good evening to everyone. As you rightly heard, we are talking and dealing with a subject named neuroscience. So, since we are dealing with this neuroscience, so we are going to know and understand much about our neurons and how it functions. And I believe that if we develop a little bit understanding about neurons and its overall mapping, then we can really do self-assistance in the face of trouble. Uh, these days competition is at peak, and this is really causing mental stress, making people more panic and anxious, and therefore people always run after a psychologist in order to find some solutions to cope with this hectic life, and which is inevitable, indispensable, especially. So, at this point of time, I believe that a little bit understanding about neuroscience and its proper exercise, I think, can really help us, you know, uh, remove all those, uh, problems, which I think is really important for us. So, let's get into this topic and see uh, how it goes. So, over to you.
So as we are talking about neuroscience, so the thing which we have actually thought about, or which we have decided, that we are going to talk about neuroscience of self-belief. Generally, people fail to, they don't really believe themselves and their potential. Sometimes, they start doubting about that, because in life, as we have discussed in a previous videos, that life doesn't always go the way we want it to, right? And when something bad happens, so we start believing that, right? We start, looking at us in a very negative way. We start doubting our potential. We start doubting our skills. We start doubting, even our fate, that we say that we are not lucky enough. We are not, skilled enough. We are not talented enough, and that's why something bad is happening in our life. But this is not the same. This is not the reality. Actually, a lot depends on the way you are looking at yourself, the way you are looking at the things,
Right.
and the way you are dealing with the things, right? And this has a lot to do with the this science, that is called neuroscience and of self belief. Because if you don't believe yourself, this is the first and foremost condition, that you must start believing in yourself. Because if you
Right.
yourself don't believe yourself, then you cannot expect other people to look, to have some positive, positive, outlook, especially towards you. So you have to start, believing yourself, and that's what you're gonna discuss. We're gonna discuss first. Tell me, what do you think a neuroscience of self-belief is? Self-belief is.
Self-belief.
Yeah.
Okay, let me make it simple for the audience. First of all, let's understand a little bit about self-belief. So it's self-assisting thought process, or which you can say, in which a person induces oneself to think in a certain direction, which is positive. So it's a habit of cultivating positivity in some other ways, you can say.
Yes.
Right. So when we, you know, uh, want to develop and cultivate this positivity and optimism, we actually want, because we know that life is full of complexities, problems. So just because of it's a human nature that it goes down, our mind gets set sometime, and therefore we need to maintain a certain balance, right? so that we should not fall in a permanent state of despondency. So, therefore, this belief system is required to be well processed, and it requires a little bit practice, to be very honest. So, belief system is nothing but where a person thinks himself to be able to perform or to do any certain thing, or to be hopeful even in the most troublesome situation. And this is somewhat, you can say, to be having a source of relaxation or a solace, because we humans psychologically are very emotional,
Yes.
and therefore we need a certain kind of records where we can put our belief, so that it could really help us balance those emotions. Because once our emotions get uncontrolled, then the life becomes hell's, right? As usually happens with many people, due to building up this stress, they lose their temper. Sometimes this depressive state sets in. So all these things combinedly make life of a person almost hell. And therefore we say that belief system is must always be activated uh, in all forms of life, in all aspects of life. Now, why do we need to have this belief system is the next question. So, as I told you, that obviously we really need that, just because of the competition is at its peak, and we have to continuously fight for our survival. So, in that particular condition, I think it's very important to balance our mental state. I think one of the psychologists, whose name is uh, Freud, Sigmund Freud, famous popular psychologist. And he says that consciousness, our consciousness, is a place where we plant a seed of confidence.
Yeah.
So, what he means to say is that we have to plant a seed of confidence in our consciousness, and we have to cultivate positivity all the time. So, whatever we gather as information, experiences right through our childhood reflects through our conduct. Okay, so we have to practice our belief system in that way, where we could make oneself, you know, you can say, always positive and ready to perform any task. And this is what I think is the need of the hour, and that what psychologists often push people to do so. Over to you.
As we know that we are living in this world, and we cannot actually flee from the reality, we cannot run away from the reality. So we are supposed to be here, and we are to perform right here. We know that people are around, and they all are, and they are somewhere they're better than us, and we start comparing ourselves with those people. And this is somewhere going somewhere induces some kind of negativity in us.
Right.
So the question arises that now we know what this neuroscience of self-belief is. But the question is, what is the way and step by step process to follow the system? Because if we don't know the system, then no matter what you know about it, then you cannot put it into practice, and then not you cannot surpass your potential. You cannot surpass your your existing belief system. So the question I'm asking you, there is one particular thing that is neuroplasticity,
Yeah.
where this brain can rewire itself through that, and so this
Right.
has this capacity, right? This has this ability, but we have to direct it. It needs direction, right? So this is something which you have to talk about. Tell me, is there any procedure, any or step by step system which can help us develop the self belief? How can a person develop the self-belief? Because generally, when we experience the negativity, when we find ourselves to be small enough, when we compare ourselves with other people, so somewhere this kind of feeling, this negative feeling, just
Hmm.
just start
Mhm.
making a kind of place in our heart. So
Yeah.
how can a person rewire his or her brain again, And tell me the systematic approach to this, and step-by-step process so that they can develop the self-belief.
Okay, I can share one of my experiences which I got through the reading of a famous American psychologist, and her name is Carol Dweck, and she's a famous American psychologist. So she simply emphasized on one thing. So what she said is that we train our muscles by or through lifting weight,
Great, yes.
doing exercises, right? So in this way, we make our body more robust. So in the same way, our brain has muscles, and that also needs exercises, right? But this next thing she said that the brain exercises involve in, engaging our brain mind into learning something, right? And feeding positive things. Now,
Mm.
why she said it? Because she has a point, and the point is almost acceptable. See, if you look the entire mapping of our brain, especially all those neurons and how they are coiled up and connected, you know, through a network, you will see that the more stronger neuron connections, the better, performance of our brain, right? So you can say the more, well connected our neurons, our brain will become even more powerful. So how you can make all those neurons, you know, tied up, closely tied up, right? And you can do it by putting all those neurons into exercising. One more example, which could understand through my personal experience. I come from a field of law, and when I, be around all those senior advocates who are 75, 80 years old, and I really don't find them older. They are very robust, full of energy, and they're very sharp. I mean, they can do all sorts of calculations. Their memory is quite sharp. I mean, they can memorize things as one youngster can do, right? All they can do it just because of the same exercise they perform in their routine life. What Carol Derek is suggesting. So, if we really want to make our this neurons set up more stronger than ever, then we have to put it in this practice. One more thing, there is a famous psychologist too, William James. If you might have heard about him, he often says that what do we think, you know, and our thought process, whatsoever it is, it actually reflects through our conduct.
Yes.
So if you really want to know and do analysis of one's thought process, it is sufficient for you to go and check his conduct or habit. That will be all reflecting. So he also suggests the same thing, that we must cultivate positivity and optimism because it influences everything. Because the time when we start behaving in that way, our neurons starts getting connected in the same manner. So you were talking about neuroplasticity, right?
Yes.
Neuroplasticity means the way they are coiled up together, right? So how they are coiled up together? Because you process them, you do some exercise on them by engaging them into some learning process. So the best and the easiest way to get our neurons more active, more functioning, and making our brain more powerful is that keep your brain uh, into some exercising mode all the time. And what's the exercise of the brain? Is to keep learning something, right? Engage your mind in doing something or other, right? So
Yeah.
that you could keep your neurons activated all the time. So this is what the process. Over to you.
Yeah, it is said that if we don't exercise our brain, then lakhs of cells die every day if they are not
Right.
used. And if we want our brain to be robust, that we have to keep exercising it, and we have
Right.
to engage in calculation, we have to engage in problem solving exercises. This is going to make it very robust and very powerful. The next thing which we have to talk about is what do you think? How does self-belief function to improve the quality of life? Do you think it's going to improve our quality of life? Yeah, obviously it will do. But in what way it will help us improve the quality of our life? When
I think it's very easy, and I think it's very practical because um, our life is what. So, what I can say, it's very practical. And see, our life is what we conduct, right? So, we know that we take inspirations from people, and we have a certain kind of picture of an ideal life,
yeah,
right? So we all want to live that, to experience that, right? And I think this is what many people, all humanity, are engaged in, right? So first, the life, the quality, the quality of life is what that we want to live. Now let's try to understand the crucial role of self belief as a system in making our life, okay, uh, qualitative. See, we all know, as we have talked a lot about it, that life is full of complexities, perplexities. So secondly, we are humans at the end of the day, and we know our vulnerabilities, weakness. We keep, igniting some force within us.
yes,
And how do we do that? Because we take inspirations from people. When we see some people around us who have done really good and done a remarkable job, especially in the face of trouble, then we take inspirations from them. Now, few things we learn from these people is that how we can keep our mind always positive. So, since we know that positivity is the only way out, which really helps us to remove all sorts of problems in our life. And if it is not, that at least it gives us courage to counter it, right? In the same way. So self belief system is nothing but a self call, which keeps you, which keeps you in a certain, which keeps you realized all the time that what is important for you and what is your objective for you, right? So this is why I think self belief system is really important. And we have talked in a previous question that self belief system is what where we keep telling ourselves about our potential, hidden potential. Sometimes we really don't know the latent potential that we have,
yes,
and it comes out only when we face some unexpected trouble. You might have seen many people haven't done great works in their life, but all of a sudden you find them a complete transformed personality.
yes,
How do they do that? Just because of a quick realizations of their hidden potential. But to awaken and to woke all these kinds of hidden potentials, I think it is needed to always be alive with this self calling. Self calling means to keep calling yourself that you can do this. So self belief system is really really important, and it's an important practice that one must uh, continue, especially in their life. Over to you.
yes. And what I believe is that if we don't practice, if we don't, believe ourselves, I think we cannot do anything in our life, because somewhere our belief keeps, instilling that kind of, positivity in us. For example, if somebody goes on the stage and, starts, singing, but he or she thinks that they're not going to perform well. I think this
Right.
is somewhere going to spoil the performance. This is something which I have experienced myself. If you
Hmm.
think that this is going to happen, that happens for sure, right?
Right.
So believing is really important, because it's you who has to do the things. And so you have to start believing yourself. Yes, I know that you cannot just make anything, and you cannot get anything done just because, you are believing it. You have to take the action as well, but you should be taking that action with the utmost positivity, right? That is important, I think. Without it, you will just bungle the job, right? And the next thing we have to discuss is, uh, do you think that there is some kind of limitation to self-belief, or we can have this to any extent?
See, I think this is a little personal question. See, we have to be always, I think, uh, awakened with that consciousness that could teach us the real abilities, the limit that we have, because not every person can do all sorts of things in life, which is also the fact, universal fact. So, if you push yourself into doing certain tasks, I think to which you are not at least suitable enough, and just because of you take inspiration from people that you can do that. And secondly, you are not personally inclined towards that particular task or a profession, just because of someone has imposed his belief on you and has told much about the professional job,
Or made
and
you
therefore you
realize
have.
that you are able to do that,
And this is, I think this
right?
is this is the line that you have to draw.
Yeah.
So there is an inner call, which I call its inner call or instinct. I think that is self-perceived, right? So I really don't think people should come and tell us about it, that this is the task which you can do, and this task, I think you are not perfect, I think, or appropriate to perform this. So I think we need to listen to us, ourselves, this very instinct all the time. And one simple thing, many philosophers says that if you are not comfortable in doing certain thing, that there are two possible reasons. One, either you have entered or opted or selected some wrong profession for you.
Yes.
Secondly, you have, adopted a certain wrong practice to acquire a certain expertise in that. So either of the thing is
The
possible in your
approach is
case.
not correct, right?
Either of the thing is possible in this case. So now, if you feel burdened, self-burden a lot, especially while performing a certain operation, then it is just a self call. We need to ask ourselves, are we really, uh, I think, appropriate or suitable for this particular task or profession? Trust me, I think people will have the responses. And the second, if they really want to do that, see, there is always some inner, forces. For example, in my language, I call it that we feel some push right from our you know corridors of our heart, right? And
Mhm.
that keeps forcing us that you can do this. Secondly, we also want to do that. So in that particular situation, you can go along with this direction and can listen to your heart. But something which you're not willing at all, but still you are trying to chase and run after, then you will fall apart even when you try harder, or even you keep building up this positive attitude all the time or develop positive habit. I think these are not going to work at all in your case, because you have entered right in the wrong profession and you have done it just out of some influence. So I mean, this is small understanding, slight understanding, I think we must have. And I think it deals with individual people. I mean, it goes with people to people or person to person, right? So that's what I can say. So limitation of self belief means that it's your personal call, and you have to understand it. You have to grasp that particular point. And I think it's only you who can understand it, whether you can perform it or not, because not everything can be achieved solely on the basis of confidence. Confidence is just that helps you to survive in a certain situation, but it cannot, enhance your performances. Okay, for certain tasks which you are not at all suitable, or a certain task for which you have adopted almost a wrong, strategy. So these things, I think, must be in our consideration, and then I think the limitless or the limit of the self-belief system can easily be configured out, according to me.
And I think, whenever we want to do something, we have to be realistic. We can, we
Mm.
be doing things just because we've been told by somebody. They're saying that you are capable enough and you should be doing it, and we are not at all feeling inclined towards that particular thing. One more thing that you, as you rightly said, that we cannot do everything. There are certain limitations, right? No matter how positive you are, how what kind of belief system you've got, whatever it is. But if you are not at all suitable for that particular kind of profession or job, whatever it is, you cannot actually do that. So you have to realize, you have to see what you are suited to or what you are capable of, right? And here you have to be very realistic, right?
Right.
Because generally what happens, we set very high goals, we don't even see what our weaknesses are, what our strengths are. So we have to decide it, and we have to be very honest. We should
Right.
always be reviewing ourselves very honestly. We should be evaluating ourselves very honestly. If we do that honest evaluation of ourselves, I think we can come up with some informed decisions, I would say.
Right.
Otherwise, we will always be making wrong choices. We'll always be choosing wrong professions, and we'll always be blaming ourselves that even though I tried a lot, I had that self belief, and I was
Hmm.
strongly believing in that, but nothing has worked out for me. So
Right.
the thing is that we have to be realistic, and we have to know our strengths and weaknesses. Everybody knows what they're good at.
Right.
The thing is that they're not accepting that. So this is something which has to be there. And then I think belief, this self belief, neuroscience of self belief is also going to help
Hmm.
us a lot if we are really putting it to practice, or we are using it in the right way, right? So with this, I'm gonna wrap it up, and I think people must have realized what the discussion was all about, and they have got something new which they would
Right.
start adopting and practicing in their life, and they will also be getting benefited from the things we have just discussed. With
Right.
this, taking a leave, I'll see you in the next video.
Yeah.